Hello, folks. In this edition of What I Am Reading, it's a classic Spider-Man Maximum Carnage. Big crossover series that went through the Spider-Man books in the 90s. If you're not familiar with it, if you haven't read it, essentially it marks the return of Carnage after his apparent demise in an earlier story. And he goes on a rampage, a la sort of the Joker getting out of Arkham. In this case, it's Carnage, and he recruits a bunch of other psychopathic villains like the Spider-Man doppelganger and Demogoblin and Shriek. And so they're, messing things up, carrying. So Spider-Man tries to stop him, essentially gets his butt kicked, gets his ribs broken, and ends up having to enlist the aid of other allies and frenemies such as Venom and Cloak and Dagger, eventually Iron Fist, Deathlock, Captain America. So it's kind of like a cool company crossover, but it just took place in the Spider-Man books. There's where we see Captain America after Spider-Man got his ass kicked again. And I'm like 3/4 of the way through this. Super nostalgic. I loved this when it came out. I had every single issue when it came out, collected them all, read them. It's really fun. Good mix of artists. There's some nice John Romita Jr. work in here. Actually, let's just see if I can find the credits page at the front here. So yeah, Tom DeFalco, J.M. DeMatteis, Terry Kavanagh, David Michelini. Pencilers, Mark Bagley, great work. Sal Buscema, Ron Lim, Tom Lyle, Alex Saviuk. And I'm not sure why they don't have JR, because I know he's in here. Maybe he was helping out, filling in. Who knows? Maybe I'm mistaken, or maybe somebody was aping him. But either way, all of the artists that were listed here are, super talented. They were, in their prime in that time. This was so big at the time, like it spawned video games. You could get the Maximum Carnage video game on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. And this was, and to this day, maybe is one of the biggest Spider-Man crossovers. I think the most commercially successful ones. I don't know about the Spider-Verse stuff that's current, but up until that point, easily before the Spider-Verse stuff, this was like the biggest Spider-Man storyline. Great artwork. The writing doesn't hold up everywhere. I find that I was a little surprised rereading this after so long. Some of the dialogue doesn't hold up so well. There are parts where the dialogue is really overdone and very expositional. But it's a fun read. I got a good deal on this copy on eBay. Obviously, it's not mint. It's not brand new. It's got some wear, but that's why I got it for about $18. But you can still get a good edition like this or better, reasonably affordably. And so it's a great affordable read, nice and thick, 14 issues, and really fun. Like they still had, even though this is kind of a dark theme and a dark storyline, it's fun. It's really fun. It's when comics kind of still had that fun aspect to them. And it's good stuff. Like I said, there's a few spots where I know the dialogue would not be written the same if it was made today. Especially characters like Iron Fist and Black Cat, Cloak and Dagger. I don't think that even Morbius. I mean, it can be argued, but definitely Iron Fist. They would not write the dialogue the same way now as they did back then, which is fine. It's interesting, and I think it's indicative of the style that comics were made at the time. I think there was still some of that exposition and maybe overwrought dialogue was still common, kind of tracing back to comics roots in like the 40s and 50s. But yeah, good stuff. This is what I'm reading right now. Spider-Man Maximum Carnage. And if you haven't read this yet, you should find it because it is fun. And it is really interesting, very fast-paced. You know, this seems to be all happening within a day or two so far, 3/4 of the way through. And all in all, it's a fun read. You should check it out sometime. Thanks for watching.